Welcome to Behind the Barricade, the podcast where we explore performance breakthroughs in the construction industry. I'm Jim Christian, founder and CEO, and for the final episode of 2025, I wanted something a little different. No guests, no interview, just a short podcast between me and you about what I believe, what I've learned, and where I think we need to focus in the year ahead in 2026. This isn't theory, it's lived experience. Some of these lessons came easily, most of them didn't. So let's jump in. Belief one, we have more agency than we think over our time. One of the strongest beliefs I have right now. We need to maintain control of our calendar, and if we don't, we quietly lose our impact and hence productivity. I felt this firsthand. Years ago, I felt my life completely out of control. Traveling, emails, text messages, planes to catch, working into the evening, everything was out of balance. But then I'd learned the lesson of controlling my calendar. Because once you control your calendar, you can control what you do and the impact that you have. It's where the priorities rest and it stops the drift. So reclaiming time isn't about being rigid or unavailable. It's about deciding on purpose what actually deserves your attention, because impact doesn't come from being everywhere. It comes from being focused where it matters most. And we've been learning that through the podcast so far this year when we see performance breakthroughs. The second belief I have is deep work isn't a luxury. It's a performance advantage. I've seen this play out over and over and over again on projects. The jobs that struggle are usually reactive. Constant meetings, constant interruptions, constant firefighting. The job that performs well, they're led by people who protect thinking time. They do the deep work. I remember sitting down earlier this year to review a schedule that kept slipping. No crisis, no emergency, just a quiet block of time to actually think about sequencing discrepancies and decisions that had been rushed. That one session saved weeks of pain downstream. Deep work is where the problems get prevented, not documented. In James Clear's book on deep work, there was a study about a consulting group that divided themselves in half, and one group had the ability to do 2 days of deep work a week, and the other group kept going on the path that they were on. And what they discovered is productivity, customer satisfaction all went up for the group that focused and did deep work, which meant no meetings for a couple of days a week. That may not be a solution for everybody, but it does support the opinion that deep work matters. In an industry that rewards responsiveness, the real edge often comes from focus, and we just got to remember that. The third belief is progress requires holy discontent, but it's paired with a clear vision of what could be. I've watched this with teams who are frustrated and stuck, and others who were ambitious but unfocused. Neither moves the needle. Complete dissatisfaction is that internal tension, the refusal to accept this is just how it is. This is just how it goes. But without a clear picture of what it could be, what looks better, the tension turns into burnout. The most effective leaders, at whatever level you are the ones who say two things at once. This isn't good enough, and here's how we're going to move forward instead. It's a paradox. Complete dissatisfaction with what is, but a clear grasp of what could be. When people understand the destination, they're willing to endure the discomfort of change. So based on those beliefs, I want to just talk about what I learned in 2025. AI is changing everything, and we're behind as an industry. If I'm honest, like many of you, I don't feel ahead of it. I feel behind. At first, it was easy to dismiss another tool, another trend. But when I started seeing real applications, better forecasting, faster analysis, clearer communication, not replacing people, but supporting them is key. The leaders who struggle with AI aren't the ones who don't understand it. They're the ones who won't engage with it. You don't need it to be an expert. You just need to be curious, because the curiosity keeps you relevant. AI won't replace us, but if we don't know how to do it, we will be replaced by people that know how to use AI. The second lesson is that the environment is more turbulent than we expected. Even projects that look solid on paper shifted. Timelines moved. Budgets tightened. Assumptions were broken. I've had more conversations this year that started with, this isn't what we planned for. And that's the point. Resilience isn't about controlling the environment. It's about how we respond when it changes. The leaders who perform best right now aren't the loudest or the most aggressive. They're the calmest. Calm creates confidence. Confidence creates momentum, and that will move projects forward, and we'll get performance breakthroughs. The third lesson grounds everything else. Technology cannot replace human impact. I've seen this with great systems struggle. I've seen projects with great systems struggle. The projects with imperfect systems succeed because leadership showed up. Judgment still matters. Trust still matters. Care still matters. Technology supports the work. People do the work. And when the leaders forget that, when leaders forget that, performance always suffers. So looking ahead to 2026, what are 3 areas that I believe matter most? Number 1, don't steal tomorrow's time with a quick yes today. A quick yes today can steal weeks tomorrow. I've made these decisions. We all have. The discipline isn't saying no to everything. It's saying yes with awareness to the downstream cost. Protecting future time is leadership, and we just have to get better at it. Focus number 2, bring leadership, not blame. High-performing people don't waste energy assigning fault. They move forward. Leadership isn't a title, it's a behavior. Anyone can step up. Anyone can clarify. Anyone can reset the tone. Blame slows teams down. Leadership moves them forward. Number 3, use technology to increase productivity. Finally, using productivity intentionally can increase productivity. If your tools only explain why something went wrong after the fact, they're not helpful enough. Technology should reduce friction, increase clarity, support better decisions earlier. That's the goal. As we close out 2025, my hope is that these reflections help you pause just long enough to lead you with more intention in the year ahead. Thanks for tuning in to Behind the Barricade. The podcast is brought to you by Cornerstone, where we're dedicated to creating a better journey for our clients, our staff, our project partners, and ultimately the world. We'll see you in 2026. Happy New Year.